Welcome to EACC Walk the Talk Study Abroad series. This is a series where basically our student will share their experience, study abroad experience, where they'll be in the university, taking us to a study tour, telling us about their studies, their stay, their work, and will help us on various things that international students to do when they travel abroad. So I'm Richard Lasrado, MBA with 22 years of study abroad counseling experience. And with us, we have Tejas Soni. Tejas, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How are you, sir?
All good. And Tejas basically is our student. He is at University of Windsor. He is pursuing his bachelor's in computer science, and he has went to Canada for January 2022. So Tejas, share us about your study abroad experience and the travel experience because you traveled during the COVID period. So how was it?
Yeah, sir. In my case, accordingly, when my flight was scheduled, the COVID in India was in peak, like almost 300K to 400K cases in India. And there was a certainty that my flight was going to be cancelled or has been cancelled. I was not knowing that I was on my way to the airport, but hopefully that didn't happen. And my flight went, like my flight took off from Mumbai and I reached Canada at the Toronto airport on 23rd of April 2021, I guess. And my first semester was the inter summer 2021. So I guess it's almost a year in Canada for me now. And so far, my experience here as an international student has been very good. I'm liking here, and the education system over here is, according to me, great, and it's very easy. And yeah, so it's been a very good experience for me till now.
So, what would you advise for a student who is a first-time traveler to Canada? What travel tips you give to him?
Okay, so if you are traveling to Canada for the first time, make sure like you know where are you going to land, and most importantly, how will you reach your destination after the airport. Like if you have someone who will come to receive you, or you have to go by yourself, then you need to research about that. If you're gonna use the public transportation from the airport, or you're gonna use a taxi or something like that, because most probably if you are going to Canada, then you have someone out there who would be there to receive you, or who would be there to guide you, because it's your first day. And like after coming to a new country, according to my experience, it's not very easy. You don't know which road to go. Like basically you haven't seen that streets before, so you might get confused, or you might be uh, like be somewhere lost. So to prevent that, yeah, I would suggest, if you are coming for the first time, you do some your own research, and like arrange the possible transportation from the airport.
How easy are public transports? How much time it takes for you to travel between the accommodation to your university and to your workplace?
Okay, so traveling across Canada is not that much hard. The public transportation systems over here are very good actually. But when you come to Canada as a newcomer, you may find it difficult to travel by the public transportation, because it's a bit confusing in a certain way. Like you travel by bus in the city. You want to go to the job, you go by bus. You want to go to university, you go by bus. You want to reach home, you want to go anywhere else, or you want to go with friends, you go by bus. So everything is done by bus over here. And the bus service is quite good actually in Canada, and it's basically similar or mostly same across Canada. So you just need to understand the bus system of a certain city or your own city, and you would be able to travel by bus in any Canadian city, because the system is most probably most similar to each and every city. So there are certain bus stops over here, and there are certain timings for certain buses which you would find it on Google Maps. You just type in your location, you just type in your destination where you want to reach. The Google Map has a option to go by bus. You click on that, it will show you the nearest bus stop, it will show you the nearest bus timing, and you need to catch that bus on that particular time. You catch that bus, and the Google Map will also show you the drop location, that on this stop you need to drop off from the bus. And you also need to do some walk because the buses don't go all the way to your destination. So yeah, that's how you travel across Canada. I wouldn't say it's quite easy, because once you figure it out, it's very easy to travel by bus, and it's more convenient to travel by bus because as a student you cannot afford any taxis or any rides, or even you cannot afford to buy a car on your own to go anywhere else. Like, that need is completed by bus services. So I would recommend you should rather use the bus services instead of going for like Uber rides or taxis, or maybe even buying car. So like you would not have to do that because the bus services would complete your needs. So it's not it's not that much hard. Once you figure out, you would easily be able to communicate from your home to university or from your home to your workplace. Just need to figure out the system. But yeah, you need to be much early ahead of your time, because the buses over here don't even wait for even seconds if you are not on the stop. Like, they would just go by if you are not there standing at the right position. They would just go by. They won't be stopping for you, or they won't be having any concern that this guy is coming from there, or he might to go to the class. They won't care for that, because the bus service is not for one person, it's for everybody. So they need to get on time where they are supposed to be. So yeah, you need to get ahead of your time. You need to manage that transportation time also, because if it's written, suppose if it's written on Google Maps that the bus will arrive on 11:45, you need to be there at the stop at 11:40, 5 minutes early. Because if the bus arrives at 11:45 and you are even a minute late, you reach there at 11:46, that would not be stopping by there. Yeah, so that's how the transportation system works over here. But it's more convenient once you figure it out. You don't need to buy a car over here, or you don't need to get taxis or rides over here to get from one place to another place. So that's a convenient thing. The transportation is convenient over here in Canada, so you can use them to communicate from one place to other.
Wow. Tejas, you experienced the first winter. So how it was difficult? Tell me about the climate, basically in winter and in the fall. How different it is? How different it is to travel during the winter period, and how did you manage the first winter? What was your experience?
Okay, so talking about winters, the winters are quite harsh over here. I haven't experienced that winters before in India. Like, the lowest temperature I would have experienced in India was around like around 7 to 8 degrees, but that thing drastically changed over here. Like, in winters, the temperature goes to around -10, -15, sometimes even -25 degrees Celsius, and that's quite cold out. That's quite cold. You haven't experienced that much cold before in your home country, and for that you need to buy some winter stuff over here. You need to buy an expensive winter jacket. You don't have any option of cutting cost on that thing, because that thing is going to affect your health. Like, you need to spend some money on winter stuff, and the winter stuff is quite expensive over here. Like, it's around average price of a winter jacket over here is around 80 to 100, around, I would say, Canadian dollars. A good one would take $100 or even more. That would help you survive some winter, but not totally. Like, you need, if you wear that winter stuff, it would help you to bear the cold for a certain limit, but not totally. So once you experience the winters over here, I guess in a month you would be you get used to it, And with the winter stuff, I guess you would get used to it once you experience the winters over here. And talking about traveling in winters, that is a difficult thing because everything is filled with snow, even the college campus, even the bus stops, even the streets. And yeah, so you may need to buy winter shoes also, that you cannot get slip on the ice. So yeah, the winters are quite harsh over here. They can go to, as I said, minus 25 degrees. And the thing is that you cannot remain outside of a house or outside of a classroom or outside your workplace for more than 10 to 15 minutes. You start shivering, you start feeling numb, your hands would go numb, your ears would go numb. I guess your nose would go numb. So yeah, you cannot stay outside any of the place for more than 15 to 20 minutes. You would not be able to stand outside for more. So you need to get a heating system nearby, whether you are in the university, whether you are at home, whether you are at workplace. Yeah. But once you get used to the winters, I guess around 1 month or 2 months in winters, you would get used to it. And I guess now you would feel around 5 degrees to be not winter, I guess. 5 degrees would be summer for you then.
So you find basically international, what would you be your advice to international students? Should they come to basically a cold place like Canada? Will they be able to survive? Because a lot of Indians have this winter fear. So what is your suggestion to those students?
My advice is it's nothing about the winters. Like, you will get used to it. There is nothing to fear about winters, I guess. It's basically season over here. Like, it comes on January, it ends on around April or May. So once you experience it for the first time, you would get used to it. There is nothing to fear about winters over here. They are harsh, but with the proper winter wear and with the proper winter stuff, you would be able to survive them. It's not that much hard over here to survive a winter. If like you are scared of winters, there is nothing to scare about, because it's only for 4 months in a year. And rather than that, the weather is very beautiful over here. In summers, it's very beautiful. The weather is very clean, the atmosphere is very clean over here. So yeah, you cannot stop yourself from coming to Canada just for winters. That's not the reason. I would say that just for 4 months in a year, you can easily manage in winters with the proper stuff and thing. Because everywhere you go, there would be heating systems available for you in the university, at your home, at your workplace, everywhere. So you won't be needed to stay in winters for more than like maximum of 10 to 15 minutes. With winter stuff, you can survive that much time in cold outside. You won't be able to yeah. So they are not very, there is nothing about fearing winters. Yeah, you can survive them.